Okay, welcome back, family. I said hold on. I meant to press pause, but I end up pressing like the stop button. Anyway, continuing on. But yeah, so the reason why um the Holy Spirit had me do certain things. So he wanted me to start off this ministry strictly about healing from sexual abuse. And I've said this time and time and over again. Um, the issues that we have from sexual abuse, like the sins we indulge in, all the bad habits that we have, it stems from trauma. It's our response, our brain trying to repair or protect ourselves for what just happened. If you go through what's the name of that series I did? Where to Place Your Worth, also on the channel. Now, granted, I know those videos are not the best quality, but bear with me, okay? I don't have much of a technology background. I didn't really know anyone who could edit videos for me like that without paying them, and I didn't really have the funds to do that. So I just did the best I could with what I had. Okay, just ignore the quality and just let God speak to you. Ignore the quality, right? Um, so yes. So the reason why we needed to do that because God had to break down um family dynamics because there's certain things, and we all know, most of us know, that's why between the ages of 18-25, people just give you a pass when you're difficult, right? Not that they let you get away with it, but they don't really hold it really against you, because between the ages of 18 and 25, you're just a product of your environment, right? And then by the time you hit 25, that's when the light bulb's supposed to come on, and that's when you're supposed to realize that there's certain things in your environment that wasn't right and that you need to correct and get rid of, right? And then that's why when people get older, that's why I said if you're in your late, when people get into their late 30s, it's set in. That's just who you is. Now again, God is an awesome God and he can change anyone at any age, but once you get older, it becomes harder for you to get rid of those old things. You're going to have to work a lot harder than someone who's in their 20s. That's why, like, with me turning 34 last year, I'm just like, baby, I'm gonna make sure I do everything God tell me to do. I'm gonna last well I turned rephrase that, when I turned 33, I'm like, I'm gonna make sure I do God whatever God tell me to do, because I these bad habits that I have, they have to go, because it's gonna be more set in, because I'm getting to that age where it's set in. um that's why when people run across someone who's in their late 30s or their 40s and they're difficult and they got all these issues, they just walk off because it's set in at this point. And then also too, you too old for all that, you know what I'm saying? But yeah. So um what am I trying to say? Oh yes. So with that being said, um we had to break down family dynamics, break down the negative things of what maybe was carried over, what we were raised in, so we can fully walk into God's truth, so we can fully walk into the person who God wants us to be. Um, we have to acknowledge the bad and the good in our parents, because if we ignore the bad, we are that is setting us up to make the same mistakes or walk in their footsteps, and not all their footsteps we need to walk in. And I had to learn that with my mother's death. I had to accept the negative and the positive of her in order for me to fully heal from it. And a lot of times we are so ingrained with having respect. And you can have respect for people, you can have respect for your parents, but you can also acknowledge where they went wrong at as well, and not carry over the negative stuff as well. It's just that you have to do it in a respectful way. My recommendation is to hammer it out with a therapist. And while you're hammering out the negative stuff, if your parents are alive, I would suggest at that time you probably want to keep your distance, because you're going to end up blurting out stuff and saying stuff that's going to be hurtful, and they maybe not be able to handle it or ready to hear it. A lot of stuff that was not right with both of my parents, I had to process when they were dead, because I have a big mouth, and I'm going to tell you what's wrong with me. You're going to always know where you stand with me, whether you want to hear it or not. And I'm not saying that's a positive thing, because sometimes I just, God has to tell me, people don't need to know everything. They can't maybe handle that at that point in time. I'm like, okay, but I look, I don't want them thinking it's nothing that it is. But yeah, you ain't never gotta wonder where you stand with me. I'm gonna always let you know, whether I should or not. But we want to break that down. But with all this stuff coming up, I see a lot of channels and churches do this. They give you prophecy, they give you what's coming up, and that we're going to go through some tough times, but they don't give you any practical ways to survive it. And we're going to, at this point, because spiritually, I think we know what we need to do. Spiritually, you need to up your prayer life. You need to be praying every day, all day, right? Pray without ceasing. You need to get in the word. You need to let go of the secular music. You need to let go of these idols that you created in your mind. You need to let go. These sporting events, these sports are not good, because all they're doing is performing rituals in front of you. We don't need to watch certain movies and television shows. Do the best you can to be as clean, as PG as possible. Like, I know it's hard, because a lot of stuff is, pretty much these shows now are just so vulgar and so disgusting. But there's too many options out there for you just be watching any old thing. There's too many streaming services, and there's godly ones that you can watch. Now, are you going to always find, I'm going to say pray over it and ask the Holy Spirit to guide you, because I don't want to just demonize something when, if you're a babe or you want to wean yourself off of something, it may be good for you at that time, right? Because, some of us, we need to drink milk before we get to, steak. We need to go from milk to baby food to, like, maybe smoothies, some fruit, and then we can get into the meat and potatoes, right? So I don't want to demonize anything, because it may be something that you need at this time. That's why I don't come in here and demonize public figures, certain these mega pastors, because I believe that they have some messages too. I have been blessed by some of them who other people has demonized, and I'm telling you, God put it on there because it was the word I needed to hear at that moment, at that time. And I have YouTube or the instant loop, and I that was not my desire to listen to them, so that's why I don't do it. So that's the spiritual side of things. Make sure you guard your heart with the law of the Bible. We don't need to stray away from that. I can't stress that enough, because in every satanic ritual, that most rituals, not every, but most rituals are done with some type of sexual act. And I said it again, I say it before, having sex outside of God's will. And that's not even told you to marry. But most importantly, the first thing I would say is the biggest trap, in the biggest temptation. I know people like to say appetite. Yeah, well, having sexual desire is a form of appetite, is sex. Because, like I said, that is the easiest way, one of them. Let me rephrase that. One of the easiest way to fall into deep bondage, because whenever the act of sex itself is very, very, what am I trying to say? It's very, very serious, because there was a female pastor who talked about, like, when women have sex with men, that the men's DNA actually becomes a part of their DNA. And let's be real, ladies, there's some men that we slept with that we don't want them part. We don't need no part of their DNA. We don't want that going to any of our children, right? And I know that's one of the ways that there's two things that are things that you need to think about whenever you're considering someone or you're about to get married. One, if I had a child just like this person, Would I be okay like that? Because a lot of people in TikTok, this is where we're going to come back again. Because a lot of people think that they can have children with people they don't too much care for. They don't really like that much, you know. But they're like, oh, well, I can control it because I'm going to raise them. No, listen, my brother looked, talk, act just like my daddy. He wasn't even around him that much. DNA is a very powerful thing. You have to ask yourself, do I want a replica of that person? If your answer is no, that's not the person for you. Another telltale, another sign um, is this person the one negative trait that you don't like about this person, if they never changed it, could you live with that for the rest of your life without trying to strangle them or praying every day that you're not going to kill them or beat them up? Then probably not. If it's going to go there, if you have to constantly pray and fast to not beat someone up, well, first of all, you got some anger issues, and second of all, that's probably not the person for you, sweetheart. And like I said, with the whole sex thing, that's the easiest way to get yourself in. That's one of the easiest way to get yourself in bondage. Yes, the ears and the eyes are portals, and that's an easy way to get stuff in. But I would say the biggest thing to put people in bondage that's hard to really break off of, that they have a lifetime, is sex. I would say off rip, if someone's trying to sleep with you, God didn't send them. That's not your partner. Sorry. Hate to say it. I don't care who I offend. It's the truth. If you're having sex with them before marriage, outside of marriage, 9 times out of 10, because I know there's some scenarios where some people, God told them not to. Well, God is never going to tell you to have sex. You know what I'm trying to say. That is their person. But they decided to have sex with them anyway and were disobedient. I understand that. But 9 times out of 10, it's like that movie, He's Just Not That Into You. There's the rule and there's the exception. And a lot of times women and sometimes men, we like to think we the exception, and you're not the exception, you're the rule, actually. But yeah, right. So these are rules to live by. Again, everything is prayerfully led, because I know the whole two big things to know if that's someone that you need to be partnered with. Sometimes God will partner you with someone, and the whole point is for you to work some things out of each other, and it also is, and also God will use you to change that person. But again, that's the rule. It's not, you're more than likely the rule, not the exception. That's why you need to pray and fast before you enter into marriage. I pray and fast just on the talking phase. I don't even want to be in a relationship with you. There's no point. I don't want to waste my time being in a relationship with you if I know you ain't it, and God ain't led me into that. You know what I'm saying? Because I know I put out a video that okay, he said don't touch that. Let's stay on topic. Okay, so we handle the spiritual side of it. Now we're going to talk about more so the financial side of it. Now I know people, and I don't want to demonize and say it wrong. I just don't think it's very practical. I know a lot of people practice like stocking up on food. I don't think that's a good idea, unless you're only buying stuff that's non-perishable, like, rice and dry beans, because those things are not going to go bad. I think those things are good. Now, some of you, like, I don't like the dry beans, they're hard. So here are 2 tricks you can do. One is soaking them overnight. Number 2 is cooking them in a slow cooker. That's what I had to learn. You cook it in a slow cooker, then they're soft just like the canned beans, and then that eliminates all the sodium in the canned beans. Right? So a lot of people are a big component of stocking up on food and all that stuff. If it's stuff that's not really going to expire, that's fine. A more practical step is to stock up on non-perishable food, and then become a part of some type of co-op if you don't know how to garden. Because I live in an apartment. I could plant there's some YouTube videos where you can plant with on I'm too lazy to do it. I'm just gonna be real. I'm too lazy to do it. But that's a thing, yeah. Now, filtered water doesn't always taste the best, but that's also another practical step. Instead of just buying cases of water if you don't have the room um, to house it, um, and then making sure you stock up on like hygiene products. You know what I'm saying? Or learning how to make your own hygiene products, which I know how to do. Another practical step, because some of us, COVID hit hard. It hit our pockets hard, especially with the inflation going on. I do recommend that you do need to be a part of a community and create a community where you can work on a barter system where you can exchange goods and services for other goods and services, because that's what you're going to need with godly people. Another thing is going shopping at Sam's Club, Costco's, BJ's, whatever those, the stores you can buy in bulk. Go with someone and split the cost. Now pick people who want to buy the same things you want to buy, so you're not arguing and having all these problems, right? Pick people who have the same diet as you, where you can split the cost of it. Another thing too, some stores offer buy one get one free. This is when you find a partner. You partner with people who have the same diet. Maybe we can, you can start a Facebook page where people in your area, hey, anybody, we want to go shopping together, and we can, we can split the cost. So when you do buy one get one free, so y'all pick stuff y'all want to buy, and then when y'all get to the register, y'all split the bill in half, which is beautiful because these days, payments are electronically, so it's easy to do that. So y'all can just split it in half, and then y'all both take one of each item. So it's easy. Again, you want to do this with someone who shares the same diet as you, right? These are ways that you can cut down costs of food, right? I would say carpooling, but a lot of people, you know, a lot of us work from home, honey. Yes. Another thing is that if you want to get some free legal money, and you don't have to worry, you ain't got to do all this stuff. Is a lot of banks offer banking bonus, so they literally pay you just for opening an account. Now, there's a lot of stipulations to it. I'm gonna link a website that gives you a list of banks. I did it last year. I took a short-term disability leave. On those leaves, they only pay you like 65% of your pay. So, money was funny. I was able to pay my rent and bills without asking anyone for help. Praise the Lord. Um, but yeah, the banking things, that's what I did last year. You are going to get a 1099 form that you are going to need to file with your tax. But yes, look at that. A lot of them, I would say, they're really good. A lot of them are really good if they don't charge you a fee. So the ones that charge you a fee, that's not the one you're gonna keep. Don't keep that one. But the ones that actually you can bank for free, those are the ones that I keep. So I have one account for where that's my main account where all my bill pay comes out of, and then the other accounts that were free and had high yielding interest on the checking and the savings, because a lot of them have high interest on it. I just stash money all over the place, so when a rainy day I can I can access that money when I need it, when I'm going through a hard time. Because one thing that is certain, there are always going to be highs and lows of your finances no matter what you do, and no one is exempt from that. No one's exempt. Your highs and lows may not look the same for everybody, but true. But everyone goes through highs and lows. So I know if I'm at a high, then a low is soon to follow. So I make sure when I'm at a high, I stash money everywhere. Now you should have one savings account though, one for emergency. So you don't touch that unless it's an emergency. The other ones are kind of like, so what I mean by that is one that you just let stack up. So you need to have at least, I want to say 3 to 6 months of of um of money. So I'm not saying it right. But my TikTok family, this is the part where the video where it's probably getting ready to cut off. So I want you to like, comment, share, and follow, so you can catch the next part of this. But you should have one savings account, like say like you just short on some money for like a bill, or like a tire, tires flat. That's one saving account. But there's one saving account where you don't touch at all. And you need to, what you need to do is, for budgeting purposes, you need to take your banking statement, right? And your banking statement is for, I believe, I want to say 2 to 3 months, and you need to add up and put in categories to see how much what your average is on what you spend on each category. Now this will let you know where you're overspending at, and then give you a good idea of how much money you need monthly that you can survive comfortably. Like, you're going to be comfortable, right? You won't have to, rob Peter to pay Paul. Once you've done that, at that point, once you have a good amount of what you need monthly to live comfortably, to pay all your bills, you need to have 3 to 6 months of that amount saved up in that saving account. Now that's a saving account you don't touch ever, unless like you lose your job. That's it. There's one emergency just for like, a flat tire, your car break or something like that. And then it's that one you just don't touch unless it, that's to break the glass, in case of emergency savings account. And then, yeah, like I said, and when you're doing that, like you're signing up for these banks for banking bonuses, and let you know which one you want to keep after you get that money, or which one you want, like, I don't really like. And that gives you a chance to shop around and explore other banks, because I would say that you want to keep one bank that is totally free, that's brick and mortar, so that way you can deposit actual cash into it and you don't have to worry about transferring electronically. Another thing that you can do, as far as for like preparing financially, is that you can, what is it? Trying to think. Because I'm going to start doing it. There are a lot of side hustles that you can do from online, from your computer, from your phone, that it's not going to require you to have much skill, and can let you just do it at your leisure. It's not much of a commitment, and that's a good way for you to bring in side money, because I'm going to start doing that. And I'm upset with myself that I haven't been doing it beforehand. But honestly, like I've been saying, like with being in claims, it's not a really good work-life balance, so I didn't really have time to do anything else. But now that I have like much of a lighter load, I am going to start like having side hustles, because if anything, if COVID hasn't taught us anything, and anyone who was maybe old enough for the crash in 2008, is that it's not good to rely on one source of income, because you're setting yourself up for failure. Because if you get laid off, if you get fired, or you need to quit the job because it's become extremely toxic, or you can't quit a very toxic environment because you don't have other sources of income, it kind of makes you stuck. It's also good too, ladies, if you find yourself in a abusive relationship, if you have other sources of income besides his, or just one income, you can be able to remove yourself from it easily. It's also good, ladies, to have that emergency stash, so that if you do find yourself in an unsafe environment, you can get you and your kids out and not have to stay, or have to struggle, or be homeless when you get out of, trying to get yourself safe. Because I'm not going to, we're not in the, what am I trying to say? I'm not here with victim bashing, because we all make mistakes, and some people are very good at fooling you about who they really are. So we're not going to do that. Oh, the shit. No, 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 no. We're not doing all that. You need to prepare, because some people are very good at faking the funk and pretending to be something that they're not. And honestly, you don't know what you're getting until you get married. So, or you're in or way down the line. So, we need to, that's one thing I do advocate for my ladies, because I know that there's some people who are very into the traditional roles, and I'm never going to go against it or say it has to be that way. That's not my place to say. That's between you and your spouse and what y'all feel comfortable doing and what God led you to do. But what I am saying is these side hustles, just Google it. I'm not Google it, but look it up on YouTube. Um the side hustles where you don't, it's not really like a set in job, it's kind of something you can just do at your leisure to have extra money. That's a good way to not just be dependent on one person or one source of income. So again, if you find yourself in a dangerous situation, you can get you and or your kids out of there safely, and you don't have to worry about being homeless and all this other stuff and staying in a shelter. And thank the Lord for them if you have to. There's no shame in that. But if you can do stuff to kind of safeguard to do it, that's the best thing to do. And especially, yeah, some women really want to be home and take care of those kids, and that's nothing wrong with that. You want to shape your kids. You want to make sure that nothing is being put in them that you don't want put in them, and there's nothing wrong with that. But there's a way that you can be there for your kids. Like you can do it while they're at school, or you can do it like while they're sleeping and stuff like that. Just do whenever you want to, like those type of side hustles, those type of jobs, right? Yeah, there's the Uber of the internet where you can do stuff where it's not tied down. You just do whatever you want to and still get paid and get a paycheck. I just want to make sure that people know their options, right? What else? And then yeah, I am gonna put a link for where you can sign up for a bank account, and it is gonna instantly, you're gonna get something back. You have to click on the link and get the details of that. And the I personally use this bank account even though I'm not affiliated. They're not sponsoring me. I'm not getting any money. I'm not making any commission off of it. Um, but I personally use the bank. I like it. It's not a brick and mortar bank. Um, it's more so, yeah, it's just more so an online bank. But what I like about it is that it's a debit card where you get cash back, and typically the cash back, the 1%, 2%, 3%, is only with credit cards. But this is for those who have bad credit, or maybe you just don't like credit cards, you're not good with them. You can use this debit card and get cash back, and trust me, that money adds up because in this economy, uh, any little thing helps. I know Bank of America have, and I know how people feel about Bank of America. You just got to read the stipulates for them not to charge you the fees. If you have a thing about Bank of America, don't worry about it. But Bank of America does have a program with Keep the Change. So when you swipe your card, it automatically deposits the change into a savings account for you, and that adds up too. So these are just little like other practical ways that you can save money if you're not in a place to save. Like you feel like you can't really save money, even if it's just $5 here and there. I know when I worked for UPS, like I wasn't getting that much money, but I still put aside $5, and $5 add up. Just put whatever you can for now, and then once more money comes in, then you can increase that amount. But again, I am going to make sure on TikTok that I link these, that I put them in the comment section, these links, and then of course on YouTube, as always, I'm gonna put it in the description box. Anyway, like I said, like, comment, subscribe, share, follow, and then I'll catch y'all. Hopefully it's just a one-off series again.